we are going to be replacing the fuel injectors in this 1991 Honda CRX, and this also applies to Civics. The very first thing you're going to do before you start this job is disconnect this battery, because we are going to be working with fuel and we don't want to have any sparks. The next thing here is going to be disconnecting the actual electrical connectors from each of the injectors on your engine. So we've got this little black bracket for the wiring harness, and that is held on with these two 10 mil nuts right there and there. And you can also remove this little speed cable right here. That's another 10 mil bolt, and that just helps to give you some more access to when you're doing this. For these actual injector clips, the way you get them off is you use a little pick like this. You put it in there, and then you just put it to that side, and then you pull it out just like that until it clips back. And on the other side, you're gonna do the same exact thing. Just gonna push this guy out just like that. And then once you get those two clips out of the way, you can just lift up on this guy. I can't lift it up too far right now because we've still got these things, but you're gonna do that for the 4 injectors. And then once you've done that, you'll be able to get all of them free. So now that we've got the sensor cable out of the way, as well as this bracket, and we've lifted up on all of the injector electrical connectors, the next step here is going to be disconnecting the vacuum hose leading to your actual pressure regulator. And so you've got 2 connections. You've got this one that goes into this throttle body, and then you've also got this other one, which is the real fuel return hose that goes back to your gas tank. Sometimes they can get a little bit seized on there, and sometimes it's easier to just get it from the other side on this guy. But yeah, use some lube and a vice grip. Just very gently grip it, rotate it, try to get some lube in there. I used a vice grip around it like this, and you can probably hear this thing. I also put a rag right underneath it because this thing does have fuel in it. So the fuel comes from the fuel filter right there into the actual fuel rail, and then you've got this return hose. Here's what things look like on our pressure regulator once we've got the vacuum hose and the fuel return hose taken off. I put a little screw in that just to have a plug. There's actually 3 10 mil nuts, so 1, 2, and 3 that hold the actual fuel rail against the manifold. And now that we got that off, and we've got all of our electrical connectors off, and we've got our pressure regulator hoses disconnected, now we can lift up on this guy and get these injectors out. There you go. Believe it or not, these things are literally just held in with friction. So as you rotate this guy down, they'll come off. Just gonna gently just twist this off. So there's one of those pieces, and hopefully I don't have to replace these. I can just clean them, but that is what it looks like. And that is a very worn out O-ring. So I'm really glad I'm doing this on this car, and we're also gonna try to get these nice and clean before we put them back in. And then we'll also put in some dielectric grease right in there. Also note that you will have fuel coming out, so ideally maybe you can keep this at an angle like that, just so that the fuel stays down there. This is how you get out these injectors in this car. Thank you all for watching, and be well.